Today marks the 4-year anniversary of Hurricane Laura making landfall near Cameron, Louisiana. It was a Cat 4 hurricane, packed sustained winds, 150 miles per hour, accompanied by a catastrophic storm surge of up to 18 feet.
And one of the hardest hit areas, which is where we were located, was Lake Charles. And Mayor Nic Hunter joins us live on the phone to talk about the recovery efforts. Nick, I haven't seen you in a while, which is a good thing, meaning things have been a bit quiet there for you guys. How are the recovery efforts now 4 years later?
Well, first of all, I agree with you. While I love the Weather Channel, it is a good thing not to hear from you guys too often. And things are going much better here in Lake Charles. If you had asked me 3 years ago, how are we doing, it would have been a much different story. But this community is resilient. We still have strides to make, to be sure, but I am incredibly proud of the almost miraculous recovery we've had over 4 years.
So let's talk about moving forward from today. What's the biggest need currently as we look ahead?
We still have a lot of blue tarps left on roofs. And one thing that we have found is for a lot of single family homes and homeowners to access federal funds, they have to make sure that their title is clear, that families had executed successions. And for a lot of people that haven't been able to access federal aid to get themselves reestablished, that's been one of the roadblocks. We still have a lot of small businesses that are struggling. And when you think about what we went through on top of COVID, it was a pretty rough experience for a lot of small businesses. So small business support, still some additional housing funds certainly needed.
That's, yeah, it was definitely a rough time. I agree with you on that, Nick. How are people handling the recovery? How is the overall mood? Have residents stayed? Have you seen a lot of people move out?
So we have 80,000 people in the city of Lake Charles today. And when you ask the question of how are you doing, you're going to get 80,000 different answers.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say that we are proud of is our population is coming back. At the worst of it, we went from a population of about 84,000 to 76,000, and we are now at about 80, 81,000 today. And steadily every day, we're seeing more people come back into the city. When you look at other communities that have gone through just a singular natural disaster, the population loss is much worse. And remember, we didn't only have Hurricane Laura, we had 4 federally declared natural disasters over a 10-month period. So once again, for us to be where we are today, it's pretty remarkable.
And lots of flooding, you know.
Right.
I mean,
Hey, in about 30 seconds, we know you guys have made improvements to the power grid. Real quick, tell us about that.
Well, we just broke ground 2 weeks ago with Entergy, our utility, on a over $100 million resiliency upgrade for Lake Charles. They chose the city of Lake Charles out of the whole state of Louisiana to launch that program. And it's not only power, it's broadband, water, wastewater.
Right.
Our community is so much more resilient today than we were 4 years ago.
sounds
Beautiful.
like you're ready for the next one, but we certainly
No.
hope there is not
We do
one.
not want another one.
Please take
Ever
that
again
back.
in Lake Charles.
You are right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nic Hunter, good to see you. Again, hopefully we won't see you anytime soon.
Yeah, thank you for spending time with us.